turn out really cool. What you're gonna do to get started, guys, is we are gonna grab your thread or your cord, whatever you're using, and grab your ruler, your tape measure, and then you're gonna grab your cord, cut it in half, or excuse me, fold it in half. And then I basically cut the length of my ruler plus 2 extra inches for good luck, right? Because we never want to short ourselves. So I folded it in half. I cut a ruler length plus 2 inches. So that's basically 26 inches. So we need 26 inches of thread. Okay? You are going to want to flush cut your ends of your cord, and this is going to help them to go through your beads. And obviously, of note right there is make sure whatever cord you choose, that both, when you're putting them together, will go, both strands of your cord will go through the beads that you've chosen, okay? What we do, guys, is marry up the ends of your cord, put both of your cords through your clasp or your jump ring. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that again. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here to where the round portion is, and I am going to push that through these ends here. Okay, let's make sure that they are even. Okay, and then we'll just pull the tails. And you see what's happening here? Pull it way up for you, I'll do it slow. What's happening right there is you're getting a knot right there, okay? And you just push that in place. All right, so now I have a knot there. So since I did the knot, we might as well start that way, but you don't have to. You can put it down one strand like I showed you a minute ago. Okay, to start out, guys, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna pull you down just a little bit for the first couple of runs. We're gonna make this full thing on camera together. Okay, so you're gonna grab one side and you're gonna start with your smaller bead, okay? And you're gonna feed on 2 beads on each strand. So there's 2 beads on that strand, and then, let me get that one cut. And then 2 beads on the other strand. And again, start with your smaller bead. Okay, so I'll pull those down, and now you have 2 beads on each strand. Now you're going to keep your strands together, and that same bead that you just used, you are going to put both of your strands together and feed it through your bead. Let it drop down. And that's what you have to start. Okay? Now what we're gonna do is we are going to start with, I'm gonna put my strands apart. Now every time we put the center bead on, guys, do you notice how this is, like these 2 beads and this is gonna wanna go that direction. So I'm gonna use the other strand to start putting on my cords, okay? So I'm gonna take one strand and I'm gonna put on 2. So again, I'm using 8mm and 6mm. So I'm gonna put 2 of my cords on this strand, let it drop down. I'm gonna pick up my other cord and I'm gonna put on 4 of my 6mm rondelles. Okay, so that's what I have. Okay, now I am going to put my strands together and I'm gonna put on a quartz. And you'll see it start to take shape in just about one more run. This will start to take shape. We do this one more time, you'll start to see How cool is a cucumber? This infinity effect is. And then down both strands, we just put our quartz. And now that is what we have. Okay? Now, same thing. I see the direction, right, that these quartz are going. So I want to kind of, do you see what I mean, guys? It's hard to explain it, but it's just better for a visual. Do you see how, where we started here? Let me pull you way down to show you. Do you see how where we started right here, how when I put on both strands to feed this bead, and then I put the 4 rondelles over here on this cord, how it starts to look right here like it's taking up like half of a figure 8. So that's exactly the same concept that we're going to continue throughout. So these 2 beads are over here, these cords. So now I'm going to want to take this cord on this side, right, and continue the quartz. And then it's going to just start to have this appearance of like a figure 8 or an infinity. I'm going to keep you down on the mat right now. Okay, so we just had both of our strands together and we put on that quartz. Okay, so now I need to put on 2 quartz. Every time I'm putting beads on each strand, I'm doing the same. So it's 2 8 millimeters and 4 6 millimeters. Okay, so I'll put on my 2 quartz here and let that drop. And then over here on this strand, I'm going to go ahead and put on 4 of my rondelles. And I'll keep you down on the mat here for a minute or 2 so you can really see what's happening. This is too cool of a technique. Maybe you guys have seen this or made this before, but for those of you who haven't, it's too cool of a technique for me to not really have you down here and showing you what's going on. Okay, so I have 4 and 2. Okay, and now I need to put these together, and the next bead I will be alternating because I just put a quartz here on both strands, so now I would be putting on a rondelle. And we're basically alternating. Every time we put our strands together, we're alternating the bead. So basically we're putting on, we first started with a rondelle, right? And then we put 2 8 millimeters, 4 6 millimeters, and then we put on a quartz. And then we're doing the same 4 and 2, and now we'll put on a rondelle. So when we're putting our strands together, we're alternating. We have a rondelle, a quartz, now a rondelle. Hopefully that's a better way to explain it. So you understand that you're alternating every time you put your cords together. This is very similar to like a ladder, but you're alternating. So let me get those through that bead. Okay, and there we go. So that rondelle's there, and don't worry, we're going to tighten it up in a minute. Okay, and so now same thing. I need to look at my cords and see what's going in what direction. Okay, and so I can clearly see that these rondelles are wanting to go this way. So let's just finish it off the way we started it. So basically, we have 2 rondelles on each side, just exactly the way we started it. So you're going to want to end it the way you started it with your smaller beads. So we're putting 2 beads on each strand, each cord here. Okay, let's pull our cords together, and then we'll go ahead and put a 6 millimeter right through that. The flush cut there. Okay, and there we go. No? Is that not where we go? Yeah. You gonna come on through, buddy? Yeah, okay. And so there we go. So let me pull you down just a little bit here, guys, and show you what we just did, right? We just finish that exactly the way we started it. We put 2 on each strand and then put our strands together to put a bead right here. Just exactly the way we did when we started it. We're finishing it the same way we started it. Okay? And so now, let me see my measurement here. So yeah, I'm right at around 6 3/4, so we should be fine. And so what we're gonna do, guys, in order to finish, you can finish off your knot any way you want, any way you normally finish up your cording. If you're using any kind of cording or thread, you can do any kind of knot you want. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna first just do a regular overhand knot or a square knot, you know, either way, okay? And then before, I'm gonna hold my knot before I pull it together, and I'm just gonna kind of push all my beads down just to make sure everything is laying where I want it to lay. Because once I put this knot on, right, it's not, there's no way to move anything, okay? So let's see here. What's happening? Okay. Let me get it back to the way it needed to be. Okay. That's how it needs to be. Okay. And as you can tell, you can see, you know, cord through, which is why it's really fun to get creative and use some colors. Now I'm going to pull that net down to where I want it to be. Laying basically right on top of that last bead. So just push that knot down there. If there's a little play, that's okay. And so I've got a little knot there. And now what I'll do is I will go ahead and I will marry up my ends. I am going to put them through the clasp here, both of my cords. Okay, pull that together. Okay, so right here. Okay, so right here is fine, which is cool because there's going to be a little bit of cord, which is very, very cool. So basically right there, and I'm going to go ahead and pull my knot. And then I'm going to do a second knot. So just a regular overhand knot. And let me push that up. And then make sure my clasp is out of the way. And making sure that I'm pushing that knot, holding my tails here, right on top of that other knot, right where I want it to be. And then you can kind of separate your tails if you want. Pull it nice and tight. And you know, if you want, guys, right here, you can take your glue and put a small little dab of glue right inside your knot there if you want. But I don't think you need to, you know, I don't think it needs a, you know, this S-line cord holds pretty well, pretty confident with my knots. And then you can go ahead and we can cut this, you know, wherever we want. Also, guys, right here, if you wanted to add some dangles, if you've got this much cord left, you can absolutely add some cute little dangles. You can cut it flush. You can cut it wherever you want. I'm going to kind of cut it about right there. And just because I usually do that, guys, and let my necklaces kind of relax, or my bracelets, my projects I'm using any kind of cord, anything but beading wire, basically. I let it, you know, lay for a day, kind of hang around. And then I will go ahead and I will adjust. And didn't even need to do anything. It just went ahead and snapped. So If I need to make any adjustments, I've still got enough tail where I can do just that. And that's what you guys have. Is that gorgeous? And I love the magnetic clasp, so it goes up